The Cybernetic Ceviché in coordination with the Cogitating Ceviché. Present. Virtual Reality, the New Frontier of Historical Exploration. By Artie. Narration by Amazon Polly. Preface. As usual with Artie articles, I did little more than ask it to ideate articles for Artie. Then I chose one of the options offered, in this case, Virtual Reality, the New Frontier of Historical Exploration. What you are about to hear is the nearly untouched article they provided. I did a little more than adjust the section header sizes. Conrad Hannon. Introduction. Imagine stepping into the cobblestone streets of ancient Rome, the air filled with the sounds of bustling markets and distant orations, or finding yourself on the deck of the Titanic, witnessing the serene yet foreboding night that would mark one of history's most tragic events. This isn't the plot of a time travel novel. It's the reality of today's virtual reality (VR) technology. VR, once a far-fetched fantasy relegated to the realms of science fiction, has matured into a sophisticated tool that transcends the boundaries of time and space. Its evolution from rudimentary 3D models in the late 20th century to today's immersive environments that engage all senses marks a revolutionary leap in how we interact with digital content. At the heart of this technological renaissance is an application that is as educational as it is enthralling: the exploration of history. VR is not just transforming, it's fundamentally redefining our relationship with the past. It offers a bridge across centuries, allowing users to experience historical events and periods with an immediacy and intimacy that books, photographs, or traditional media could never achieve. This fusion of technology and history opens up new avenues for education and entertainment, promising to enrich our understanding of the human saga in profound and previously unimaginable ways. The rise of VR in historical context. The genesis of virtual reality can be traced back to the 1960s with the invention of the sensorama and the telesphere mask, early forerunners that laid the groundwork for today's VR headsets. These initial attempts at creating virtual environments were limited by the technology of their time, offering only a glimpse into the potential of immersive digital worlds. It wasn't until the 1980s and 1990s, with the advent of more advanced computing power and graphics technology, that VR began to take shape as we know it today. Yet, it remained a niche interest, often seen more as a novelty than a tool for serious applications. The real turning point for VR came with the 21st century's technological leaps. The development of sophisticated motion sensors, high-resolution displays, and powerful graphics processing has propelled VR from the fringes of technology into the mainstream. Companies like Oculus, HTC, and Sony have pioneered devices that offer high-quality immersive experiences, making VR accessible to a wider audience. Parallel to the evolution of VR technology was its application in historical exploration. Early endeavors were often academic projects, utilizing VR to recreate archaeological sites or to simulate historical events for research and education. The Virtual Hampson Museum Project and the Rome Reborn Initiative are prime examples, offering detailed virtual reconstructions of historical sites and ancient cities for scholarly study. As VR technology advanced, so too did its potential for historical storytelling. The use of photogrammetry and 3D scanning allowed for accurate reproductions of historical artifacts and locations, while narrative techniques borrowed from video games and cinema made these virtual environments more engaging and informative. Projects like the Anne Frank House VR and the BBC's 1943 Berlin Blitz VR experience have set new standards, offering immersive journeys through history that are both educational and emotionally compelling. These advancements have not only democratized access to historical knowledge, but have also opened up new possibilities for preserving heritage. With VR, sites endangered by natural disasters, conflict, or the passage of time can be meticulously documented and preserved in digital form, accessible to anyone with a VR headset. This digital preservation represents a critical milestone in the intersection of technology and history, ensuring that even as the physical remnants of the past may fade, their virtual counterparts will endure for future generations to explore. Immersive learning, VR in education. In the realm of education, VR is igniting a renaissance, transforming history lessons from passive lectures into dynamic, immersive experiences. Schools and universities across the globe are beginning to harness VR's potential, integrating it into their curriculums to bring the past vividly to life for students. This innovative approach to learning is not just about novelty, it's about opening new pathways to engagement, understanding, and retention. VR in the classroom, from ancient civilizations to modern history. Several educational institutions have pioneered the use of VR to supplement traditional teaching methods. For instance, the University of Warwick in the UK has developed a VR experience that transports students to ancient Rome, allowing them to explore the city as it stood in 320 AD. Similarly, the Anne Frank House Museum has created a VR tour of the secret annex, offering a deeply personal glimpse into Anne Frank's hiding place during World War II. These experiences are not confined to the realms of higher education. Primary and secondary schools are also exploring VR's potential. Google Expeditions is a notable example, providing schools with VR kits to take students on virtual field trips to historical sites around the world, from the pyramids of Egypt to the battlefields of the Civil War. Tailoring learning to individual needs. One of VR's most significant advantages in education is its ability to cater to diverse learning styles. Visual learners can benefit from the detailed recreations of historical environments, auditory learners from the narrated content and ambient sounds, and kinesthetic learners from the interactive elements of VR experiences. This multisensory approach not only makes history more accessible, but also more engaging, allowing students to interact with the past in a way that textbooks cannot replicate. Enhancing engagement and retention. The immersive nature of VR fosters a level of engagement that traditional educational materials often struggle to achieve. When students can walk through the Colosseum or stand on the deck of a ship from the age of exploration, history is no longer a collection of dates and names, but a vivid, tangible world. This immersion not only makes learning more enjoyable, but also improves retention. Studies have shown that VR can lead to better recall of information, as the experiences are encoded in memory similarly to real-life experiences. Making history accessible. VR also democratizes access to historical education. Students who might never have the opportunity to visit a museum or historical site due to geographical or financial constraints can now explore these places virtually. This accessibility extends to students with disabilities, for whom physical travel to such sites might be challenging. VR can bring the world to them, ensuring that all students have the opportunity to experience the richness of our global heritage. As VR technology continues to evolve and become more affordable, its integration into history education is likely to expand. This shift represents a significant advancement in how we teach and learn about the past, making history not just a subject to be studied, but an experience to be lived. Through VR, educators have a powerful tool to inspire curiosity, empathy, and a deeper understanding of the human story. Entertainment and engagement. VR in museums and attractions. Virtual reality, VR, is not just revolutionizing the classroom, it's also transforming museums and historical attractions into hubs of immersive exploration. By integrating VR experiences, these institutions are attracting new audiences, enhancing educational outreach, and even playing a crucial role in the preservation of global heritage. VR tours and experiences in museums. Museums around the world are adopting VR to provide visitors with unparalleled access to both their collections and the stories behind them. The British Museum in London, for example, offers a VR tour that allows visitors to explore a virtual Bronze Age roundhouse, complete with interactive elements that bring the period to life. Similarly, the Smithsonian American Art Museum has developed a VR experience that transports users into the landscapes of American naturalist paintings, offering a blend of art and history. In Paris, the Louvre Museum utilizes VR to offer an intimate encounter with the Mona Lisa. Visitors can engage with the iconic painting in a way that is impossible in the crowded physical space, delving into its history, the techniques used by Leonardo da Vinci, and the mysteries that have made it so famous. Preserving heritage through VR. Beyond entertainment and education, VR plays an increasingly vital role in the preservation of cultural heritage. Digital preservation initiatives use VR to document historical sites in exquisite detail, ensuring that even if the physical site is lost to conflict, natural disasters, or the ravages of time, a virtual record will remain for future generations. One notable example is the Palmyra Arch in Syria, which was destroyed by ISIS in 2015. Before its destruction, the site was digitally scanned and preserved in VR, allowing people to explore this ancient wonder despite its physical absence. Similarly, the nonprofit organization SciArc is undertaking efforts to create digital 3D models of endangered heritage sites around the world, from the ruins of Pompeii to the Tower of London, ensuring their preservation in virtual form. VR and accessibility. These VR experiences not only serve to entertain and educate, but also to make history and art more accessible. People who cannot physically visit these sites, whether due to disabilities, financial constraints, or geographical limitations, can now explore them virtually. This democratization of access is one of VR's most significant contributions to cultural engagement. Engagement and emotional impact. Moreover, the immersive nature of VR creates a more profound emotional connection to the content. Visitors are not just passive observers but active participants in history. By walking through a virtual reconstruction of an ancient city or standing in the room where a historical figure once lived, users gain a deeper appreciation and understanding of the past. As technology continues to evolve, the potential for VR in museums and historical sites is boundless. From interactive tours that span continents and eras to detailed digital preservations of sites at risk, VR is at the forefront of a new wave of cultural exploration and preservation. It invites a global audience to step into history, experience the richness of human culture, and perhaps most importantly, ensure that our collective heritage is safeguarded for the future. The challenges and limitations of historical VR. While the advent of virtual reality, VR, has opened up unprecedented avenues for exploring and preserving history, it's not without its challenges and limitations. As developers and historians push the boundaries of what VR can achieve, they also grapple with technical, logistical, ethical, and accessibility issues that could influence the technology's impact and reach. Technical and logistical challenges. Creating accurate and engaging VR content requires a meticulous blend of historical research, technical expertise, and storytelling acumen. One significant hurdle is the reconstruction of historical settings and events with fidelity. This not only demands extensive academic research, but also collaboration across disciplines, including archaeology, history, and digital animation. The logistics of capturing and digitizing vast historical sites or artifacts for VR experiences can be both time-consuming and technically complex, often requiring advanced 3D scanning techniques and substantial data processing capabilities. Historical accuracy versus creative interpretation. A pivotal challenge in historical VR is striking the right balance between historical accuracy and creative interpretation. While the immersive nature of VR offers a powerful medium for storytelling, there's a risk of distorting historical facts for narrative convenience or dramatic effect. This balancing act raises ethical considerations about how history is represented and taught. Misrepresentations, even when well-intentioned, can perpetuate inaccuracies or bias, potentially misleading users about significant historical events or cultures. The digital divide and accessibility issues. The digital divide poses another significant challenge. Access to VR technology is still a luxury in many parts of the world, limited by factors such as cost, infrastructure, and technological literacy. This gap can prevent a significant portion of the global population from benefiting from VR's educational and preservation potential, exacerbating existing inequalities in digital access and education. Furthermore, the physical requirements of using VR headsets, such as the need for a certain amount of space and the potential for motion sickness, can limit accessibility for users with disabilities or those lacking the required setup. Cost implications. The development and deployment of VR experiences can be prohibitively expensive, encompassing high costs for equipment, software development, and content creation. This financial barrier can be a significant limitation for smaller institutions, such as local museums, schools, and nonprofit organizations dedicated to historical preservation. As a result, the rich potential of VR may be fully realized only by well-funded entities, leaving smaller, potentially valuable projects by the wayside. Ethical considerations. Ethical concerns extend beyond the accuracy and representation of historical content. The immersive nature of VR raises questions about the psychological impact of experiencing traumatic or sensitive historical events. Developers must navigate these waters carefully, ensuring that experiences are respectful, informative, and sensitive to the context they depict. This includes considerations around the portrayal of violence, suffering, and culturally specific narratives, ensuring they are handled with the dignity and gravity they deserve. In conclusion, while VR presents a groundbreaking tool for historical exploration and education, its effective and responsible implementation is fraught with challenges. Addressing these requires a collaborative effort among technologists, historians, educators, and ethicists to ensure that VR can fulfill its potential as a transformative educational tool without sacrificing accuracy, accessibility, or ethical integrity. Case studies. Successful VR historical experiences. Exploring history through virtual reality, VR, offers immersive experiences that have successfully brought to life various historical events and periods, providing users with unique insights and emotional connections to the past. Here are a few standout VR experiences that have made significant impacts. Lithodomos VR and the Ancient World. Lithodomos VR, founded by Australian archaeologist Simon Young, specializes in creating immersive virtual recreations of ancient ruins. Their work enables users to see landmarks such as Rome's Temple of Venus in Rome or the Arénas de Lutèce in Paris as they were in their prime. This experience transforms how we connect with historical sites, offering a vivid glimpse into their original glory. The applications of Lithodomos VR can be experienced on-site with a smartphone headset or from remote locations using commercial VR systems like Oculus Rift, enhancing the accessibility of historical education and tourism. Smithsonian Magazine. Time Looper and Historical Moments. Time Looper is a VR application that transports users to significant historical moments, allowing them to witness events from a first-person perspective. From attending George Washington's inauguration to experiencing the John Lennon Memorial in 1980, Time Looper utilizes remastering technology to recreate these moments with impressive accuracy. This platform not only makes history more accessible, but also enables users to experience the emotional weight of these moments in a profoundly personal way. Museum Next. War Remains, Experiencing World War I. War Remains, presented by Dan Carlin, is a VR experience centered on the Western Front of World War I, specifically focusing on the Battle of Passchendaele. This experience, which won the Tribeca Film Festival Out of Home VR Entertainment of the Year Award in 2019, immerses users in the heat of battle, aiming to provide a taste of what soldiers experienced. The meticulous design, involving collaboration with Mummy, Brandon Oldenburg, Flight School Studio, and Skywalker Sound for audio design, strives for historical accuracy and emotional depth, offering users a bearable yet impactful glimpse into the horrors of war. Upload VR. These case studies demonstrate VR's potential to revolutionize our understanding and appreciation of history. By allowing users to step directly into the past, VR experiences like those created by Lithodomos VR, Time Looper, and War Remains bridge the gap between historical knowledge and emotional engagement, making history a living, breathing entity accessible to all. Future prospects. Where can VR take us? As virtual reality, VR technology advances and becomes more integrated into our daily lives, its potential to transform historical exploration and education is boundless. The future of VR in this domain is likely to be characterized by even more interactive, immersive, and personalized experiences that will make learning about the past a dynamic and engaging activity for individuals of all ages. More interactive and personalized experiences. The future of VR promises more interactive experiences that engage users in active learning. Imagine VR simulations where users can not only observe historical events, but also participate in them. making decisions that influence the course of history within the simulation. This level of interactivity can create a more profound understanding of historical contexts and the complexities of historical events. Personalization is another frontier VR is poised to conquer. Future VR platforms could tailor experiences to users' interests, adapting narratives or focusing on specific historical details based on individual preferences. This could be achieved through AI-driven algorithms that learn from users' interactions, making educational content more relevant and captivating. The role of VR in historical research and discovery. VR also holds promise for historical research and discovery. Researchers could use VR to reconstruct and analyze historical sites or artifacts in 3D, providing new insights into their form and function. This could be particularly useful for inaccessible or delicate sites where physical exploration might be impractical or damaging. Moreover, VR could facilitate collaborative research across the globe. Historians, archaeologists, and researchers from various disciplines could virtually meet in reconstructed historical sites, sharing insights and hypotheses in real time, despite being physically located in different parts of the world. Preserving cultural heritage. The preservation of cultural heritage is another area where VR could make a significant impact. As seen with projects like SciArc, VR can digitally preserve historical sites threatened by natural disasters, war, or decay. This not only ensures the survival of cultural knowledge for future generations, but also raises global awareness about the importance of protecting these sites. Enhancing accessibility. Finally, the future of VR in historical exploration is likely to emphasize accessibility. By making historical experiences available to anyone with a VR headset, history education can transcend geographical and socioeconomic barriers. This democratization of access could foster a more globally informed society with a deeper appreciation for cultural diversity and historical legacies. VR's trajectory in historical exploration and education is set to deepen our connection to the past. As technology evolves, we can anticipate more immersive, personalized, and accessible experiences that enrich our understanding of history, promote global heritage preservation, and inspire future generations with the lessons of yesteryears. The blending of VR with history not only educates but also has the power to inspire empathy, understanding, and a profound respect for the diverse narratives that have shaped the human experience. Conclusion. Virtual reality, VR, stands on the cusp of revolutionizing how we engage with and understand history. By transporting users across time and space, VR technology has begun to blur the lines between past and present, making history not just a subject to be studied, but an experience to be lived. Its transformative potential lies in its ability to make historical exploration more interactive, immersive, and accessible than ever before. The implications of VR for education, research, and cultural preservation are profound. It offers educators the tools to bring history to life in their classrooms, providing students with unforgettable experiential learning opportunities. For historians and researchers, VR opens new avenues for investigation and collaboration, enabling the reconstruction of lost worlds and the preservation of our cultural heritage for future generations. Moreover, by democratizing access to historical sites and narratives, VR technology can foster a more inclusive understanding of our shared past. As we look to the future, the call to action is clear. Educators, historians, tech developers, and cultural institutions must continue to explore and expand the possibilities that VR offers for historical exploration. Together, we can harness the power of VR to inspire curiosity, empathy, and a deeper appreciation of history's lessons and legacies. Thank you for your time today, and until next time, keep it real.